Welcome student. Up to we finish the introduction and the classification of the diuretics. Now this lecture starts the individual drugs or the individual agents. Firstly we will see the benzothiazides. Now this benzothiazides, which is a prototype agent, which is a chlorothiazide, was introduced in the 1958 and became widely used as an orally effective agent. These thiazides are related chemically to the sulfonamides but have no antibacterial activity. These thiazides are chemically related to the sulfonamide but they do not have the antibacterial activity like as the sulfonamide. Okay, most of these diuretics are derived from benzothiazide and these are known as the thiazides. The other four sulfonamide diuretics, which is the chlorthalidone, quinathazone, metolazone and the indapamide differ in their chemical structure from the thiazides but act exactly like the thiazides and have a relatively longer duration of action. Now benzothiazides have the two types. First one is the thiazide and second one is the related compound. This related compound is the chlorthalidone. Okay. Metolazone and the indapamide. They are differ in their chemical structure from the thiazide. They do not have the similar structure of the thiazide, but they act exactly like the thiazides and have a relatively longer duration of action. Now, site and mode of action. The main action is exerted on the first part of the distal tubule and possibly also on the proximal tubule. Members of this group vary in their onset and duration of action. Again, the duration is depend on the degree of protein binding and the longer acting compounds are more protein bound. The main action is to block the active reabsorption of sodium and chloride with water in the distal tubule possibly by inhibition of the glycolysis. As the inhibition of sodium or potassium adenosine triphosphate, it means the ATPase, limit the energy supply for active transport in the tubule and they have a soluretic activity. Okay, all of you know what it means by the soluretic. The soluretic, which is a drug that increase the renal excretion of sodium and the chloride ions. Okay. Now actions in that the first one is the increase the excretion of sodium and chloride. The chlorothiazide cause the diuresis with increase in the sodium and chloride excretion, which can result in excretion of a very hyperosmolar urine. This latter effect is unique. The other diuretic classes are unlikely to produce a hyperosmolar urine. The diuretic action is not affected by the acid-base status of the body, nor does chlorothiazide change the acid-base status of the body. Next one is the loss of the potassium. Because thiazides increase the sodium in the filtrate arriving at their distal tubule, more the potassium is also exchanged for the sodium, resulting in a continual loss of the potassium from the body with prolonged use of these drugs. In this case, there is this exchange of the sodium and the potassium. Okay, the more the potassium is exchanged with the sodium and that result the continual loss of the potassium from the body. Next one is the loss of the magnesium. Magnesium deficiency requiring supplementation can occur with the chronic use of thiazide diuretics, particularly in the elder. Fourth one is the decrease the urinary calcium excretion. Thiazide diuretic decrease the calcium content of urine by promoting the reabsorption of the calcium. This contrasts with the loop diuretics which increase the calcium concentration of the urine. Next one is the fifth one is the reduce the peripheral vascular resistance. Okay, as the initial reduction in blood pressure results from a decrease in the blood volume and therefore a decrease in the cardiac output. With the continued therapy, volume recovery get occurs. However, there are the continued hypotensive effect resulting from reduced the peripheral vascular resistance caused by relaxation of the arterial smooth muscle. These are the actions of the thiazide derivatives. Now, relative changes in the composition of urine induced by the thiazide diuretic. Now, only the calcium get decreases. Increase the sodium, potassium and the volume of the urine in the thiazide diuretics. Now, therapeutic uses are the first one is the hypertension. This clinically, thiazides have long been the mainstay of antihypertensive medication because they are inexpensive, convenient to administer and well tolerated. They are effective in reducing the systolic as well as the diastolic blood pressure for extended period in the majority of patients with mild to moderate essential hypertension. After the 3 to 7 days of treatment, the blood pressure stabilizes at a lower level and can be maintained identifiably by a daily dosage level of the drug, which cause lower peripheral resistance without having a major diuretic effect. Second one is the heart failure. Thiazides can be the diuretic of choice in reducing the extracellular volume in mild to moderate heart failure. If the thiazides get fast, then loop diuretics may be useful. Next one is the hypercalciuria. The thiazides can be useful in treating idiopathic hypercalciuria because they inhibit the urinary calcium excretion. Again, this is particularly beneficial for patients with the calcium oxalate stone in the urinary tract. Next one is the diabetes insipidus. Thiazides have the unique ability to produce a hypoosmolar, and these thiazides can substitute for antidiuretic hormone in the treatment of nephrogenic diabetes insipidus. Next one is the pharmacokinetics. These drugs are effective in the orally. Most thiazides take 1 to 3 weeks to produce a stable reduction in the blood pressure, and they exhibit a prolonged biological half-life which is of 40 hours. All these thiazides are secreted by the organic acid secretory system of the kidney. Again, the adverse effect is the thiazides may cause dizziness, weakness, fatigue and the leg cramp. But the major side effects are the hypopotassiemia, okay, hyperuricemia, it means the increases the uric acid and the aggravation of the diabetes mellitus. Hypokalemia, it means that decreases the potassium level. Hyperuricemia, it means that increases the uric acid level. Hypotension decreases the blood pressure. Hyponatremia decreases the sodium level. Hypercalcemia, it means that increases the calcium level. These are the totally of the thiazides diuretic.